Thanks for joining. With this lesson about JavaScript, I'll explain various topics related to this course. We will install Node.js, IDE VS Code, required extensions, and also I'll show you how to use browser to run JavaScript with various functions like console.log, alert, prompt, and confirm. If you have any questions or need clarification along the way, feel free to comment below. Make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to our channel for more exciting lessons like this. Let's jump right in and start learning. For the development process, we will need a few things. First, we need Node.js. Node.js is an open-source server-side runtime environment that allows you to build and run JavaScript applications outside of a web browser. It's built on the V8 JavaScript engine, which is the same engine that powers the Google Chrome browser, as I explained in the first lesson. To get started, please visit the Node.js website and choose the LTS long-term support version. Download the installation file and proceed with the installation process. Next, you'll need to go to VS Code, Visual Studio Code website, and download the IDE, or Integrated Development Environment. This is the program where you'll be writing your code. Make sure you have a browser installed on your computer. Once you have downloaded the VS Code installer, proceed with the installation. Now all required programs are installed and we are good to go. Let's start VS Code and install required extensions. First extension we will need is a live server. The live server extension for Visual Studio Code is a popular tool used for web developers to create a local development server for their static web pages and web applications. It allows you to view your web pages in real time as you make changes to the code, without the need to manually refresh the web browser. And in the next lesson, I'll show you how to use it. Next extension we will use is JS Snippets. The JS Snippets extension is a tool designed to enhance the coding experience for JavaScript developers using Visual Studio Code. It provides a collection of predefined code snippets that can be easily inserted into your JavaScript files. So instead of writing every time console.log, you will need to type in only two letters, CL. So I will type CL, like this, and the console.log function is automatically inserted. So it saves a lot of time, and the shortcuts of the snippets you can see on the installation page of the extension. The list is huge, you don't need to memorize it, just use it as a reference. You will memorize them with practice. Next extension I would recommend to install is VS Code Icons. The VS Code Icons extension tool used to enhance the visual appearance of file icons in Visual Studio Code Editor. It replaces the default icons provided by VS Code with a set of custom icons that are designed to represent different file types, folders, and programming languages more intuitively, and icon will be placed automatically in accordance with the file extension. As you can see, the JS icon was set since the file extension is JS, which means JavaScript. And the last extension we need is Prettier. The Prettier extension is a tool used by developers to automatically format and beautify the code within the code editor. It helps ensure consistent code styling and improves code readability by applying a predefined set of formatting rules. After installing the extension, you will need to press the shortcut Alt-Shift-F and your code will be automatically formatted with semicolons added. As you can see, I will write CL without semicolons and spaces added, and then I press Alt-Shift-F to automatically format the code. And the code is formatted and semicolons included. Regarding semicolons, I'm not manually adding them. VS Code will place them automatically. Additionally, I'm using an indentation of two spaces, and I'll explain indentations further in the next lesson. Next, let's discuss how to create a file. You press the new file icon here on the top bar or choose new file from the menu. Then type the required name and extension. If you enter the file extension as JS, Visual Studio Code will automatically assign the appropriate icon based on the programming language. And a handy shortcut is Ctrl-Back-Tick, which opens the terminal window. Within this window you have the terminal, which is the window command prompt, the debug console used to debugging, the output where the executed code results are displayed, and problems, which shows errors in case of any issues. Furthermore, if you drag and drop a file, VS Code will automatically split the main window. You can add additional files and the window will be split accordingly. Additionally, you can add an extra terminal if the main one is already in use. As you can see, I pressed the plus button and another terminal was added. This is useful when running tasks simultaneously or if task is already running in the current terminal. Speaking of tasks, let's start with Node.js and execute a command. If you simply type Node in the terminal, the interpreter will start, allowing you to run any desired command. Let's create a variable, assign it a value, and output it using the console.log function. Moreover, you can run a file directly in the terminal by typing Node, followed by a space, and then the file name. Pressing enter will execute the file. For every lesson, I'm creating a file containing the code we discussed. You can download it from GitHub, and the link will be provided below. Additionally, with each lesson, I'll provide assignments. I highly encourage you to complete the assignments, as they will greatly contribute to your progress. Next, to run the code without manually starting Node, from the terminal, you can press F5. This will open the debugger and the code will be executed. If you only need to run a specific piece of code, you can select the required code block either by clicking the mouse right button and choosing the run code, or by pressing Ctrl-Alt-N. If code is selected, only the selected code will be executed. Otherwise, the entire file will be executed. Now let's switch to the browser. I'm using Chrome browser for this course. In the browser, you can execute JavaScript code at any time. Browsers engines natively support JavaScript. If you open the DevTools, as we discussed in the previous lesson, and then open the console, you can directly type your code there. For example, let's create a variable and use alert function to retrieve its value. I will write const info, then I will assign to the const info a string, and then alert function. And in parentheses, I will pass the variable name. As you can see, the code was executed by browser. We will explore more DevTools features throughout this course. I also need to mention how to interact with the browser if you choose to execute the course code in the browser. There are 4 main functions: console.log, alert, prompt, and confirm. If you type alert, followed by quotes inside the parentheses and the message you would like to display, the browser will show a pop-up window with your message. The pop-up window is called a modal window. Typically, modal windows block other content on the page, and the users cannot interact with the content behind the window. The next function to interact with the browser is the prompt function. This function waits for your input. Once again, I'll create a variable and name it val. I'll assign this variable the prompt function, and the prompt function displays a dialog box to the user with an input field where they can enter a greeting. The first parameter is the message shown to the user, and it will be enter your greeting. The second parameter is the default value displayed in the input field, and the result is stored in the variable val. Then will be the alert function. It displays a dialog box with the message the greeting is, followed by the value of the val variable. And finally, I will save the result in the constant variable named store. If we access the variable store, the output will be the greeting is, and the high value will be provided by the val variable using template literals. Don't worry, it will be discussed throughout the course. It's just an example how to execute JS code in the browser. The third function is confirm. This function asks you to agree or disagree, and you need to press either OK or cancel, respectively. You can use these functions in the browser along with the lessons code. However, I will primarily use VS Code to type and execute the code in the console.log to display required results. Now that we have installed everything required, we will start the next lesson and begin coding. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions or need further assistance, feel free to comment below. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more great coding content. Stay updated with the latest videos by ringing the notification bell. Happy coding!